9 races up to this point this season. Simon, how exciting is it to get your first career pole here in the Verizon IndyCar Series?
Oh, well, it's really awesome for the Schmidt-Peterson Motorsport team and myself, really. I mean, we've been knocking at the door, and it's so awesome when you can make it happen. I mean, racing is all about, you know, a lot about being the fastest man, and it's very enjoyable today to be that guy. But we've got a race this afternoon, so it's just awesome because we have a really good race package. And starting from pole is obviously bringing a lot of confidence to the team and to myself. So if we can be fast in qualifying with a good race car, then we're in really good shape this weekend.
How important is a top qualifying spot at the streets of Houston here?
Well, it's obviously super important because passing opportunities are not as big as they would be on an oval or at the Indy Grand Prix, for example. So here, starting from pole on the standing start is obviously better to avoid problems, and quite excited about it. I think we've got a really good shot.
Questions for Simon? Matt?
We've heard Will say several times this season that he's not focused on championship points anymore. He just wants to go out and win races. I'm curious, what is your perspective towards the overall big picture and championship this year?
It's a good question. You know, you have to go to each race thinking you can win. Otherwise, you're not going to win the championship. But as a team with the driver, it's very important that every time you prepare for a race, you prepare in a way that you want to make the car as fast as possible and understand what the car requires, and go out and try to mentally think you can win. If you think you can win, then you may make it happen. That's the first step. But most importantly, if you're not in a position to win, which it happens, then it's important to score points. And that's when you think championship day. But when you're positioned to win, you need to get the points, and sometimes you take a little bit more risk to make it happen.
Chris?
Simon, your teammate qualified 10th. How much were you and him able to exchange notes and help each other out getting the setup right for this weekend?
We share everything. Mikel has been a great addition to the team with his engineer Alan McDonald, and you know, on my team, we've been all together for 3 years with my engineer Ben Bredsman and Nick Snyder, and it's important to share information like this. When you have a good driver like Mikel, it's very important to try to start the same way, try different things, and collect information and improve the package. So far, that's what we've been doing really well this year, and I feel we're very complete as a team.
What have you learned from last season when you were in the championship fight versus coming into this year now that you're steadily in the top 3 or top 5, going after everything?
That's interesting as well. The big thing is what does the car require? What does it need to go faster and be consistently up front like this? And I think, you know, understanding how the Firestone tires work was something that you know, was difficult to understand. 2012 for me, it was my first year. I used to drive sports car for 6 years, and I was on Michelin, so completely different tire. So it took me a while to get my head around that, and the engineers as well. And now we've got a much better understanding, and I'm also much more accustomed to my equipment, so it's a lot easier to extract a little bit here, a little bit there, and that's why I think we're competitive.
Steph?
Simon, IndyCar Radio was reporting that some grinding was done on the curbs in the chicane to bring the height down a bit. Did you find a big difference out there today as opposed to yesterday?
I'm not sure actually. I think the car rides the curb really well, so I didn't really notice. No.
Yes.
Simon, you were speaking about the tires. It was very hard to make them last, the red tires in Detroit a few weeks ago. How much of that do you expect today?
Well, that's mainly what we've been working on when we went to Sebring last week with the team. That was our decision to go to Sebring instead of Pocono. The goal was to make the tires last. Last year we were certainly one of the worst at that. we really burned the rear tires off the car. I think this year we have something a lot more consistent. Personally, I don't know about the others, but I mean, we're able to just keep going faster and faster, so that's a really good sign.
Other questions for Simon? Yes.
Simon, did you do something differently than before to achieve the pole position this time, or like?
Driving wise?
Well, not really. The approach to the
Yeah, I think
qualifying.
yeah, we did. We, you know, you start the season with a package you think is going to be the best, and then you keep improving race after race, testing after testing. And after Detroit, we had a really fast car, but we're lacking, I just say brake stability. You know, I needed to be able to attack the brake more, to pass people first, and to challenge the braking zone more. That's what we found. We found something that helps that, and the car is just brilliant.
One more thing. Is there any difference in the track condition from Q2 to Q3 this time?
No, I didn't find any. No. Thank you.
Yes, question here.
Good afternoon, congratulations. How bumpy did you feel the track today versus yesterday? Was there any difference?
No, you know, obviously when the rubber comes down, it makes it the car grips better. So sometimes it feels a little less bumpy, but it's similar. I think the organizer, promoters, they've done a great job preparing the track this year. Turn 1 is a lot better than last year, and it's a very raceable racetrack. It's a lot of fun to drive actually, and you know, I'm expecting a really good race today.
Steph.
Forgive the very predictable question, but the conditions out there, I presume, are hot, but some people are saying not quite as hot as everybody was expecting. Is it bearable?
Yeah, I think today was not as hot as yesterday. Yesterday was tough. I mean, we're all struggling with the heat and the humidity mostly because it makes you sweat so much. We'll see who's prepared the best, I think, at the end of the race. But for sure, there will be action by the end of the race with people falling out of the seat, and that's something to expect for sure.
Any final questions for Simon Pagenaud? Yes, Josh.
Simon, last year your biggest Achilles heel I felt was qualifying, where this year you guys have qualified a heck of a lot better. What have you guys overall done in order to improve your qualifying performances this year?
We've developed the suspension, worked a lot on suspension, on understanding how to, you know, gain grip basically, and we have a lot of lateral grip on the race car, so I feel very confident with it. I think that's the main thing. Our ride before, the ride on the bumps wasn't too good last year, and the car was difficult to drive. This year, you know, as you can see, I can do lap times and lap times, be consistent and extract more out of it. So we have a basic setup that we know is good, and we don't go away from that too much. So I can myself be a better driver with the race car and extract more out of it. So it's working well for us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Simon, good luck in race 1 this afternoon.
Thank you.